Okay, so this is when I went to the Harrison House Bed and Breakfast in Columbus, Ohio. And it's it happened because I auditioned for a film and got in this short film. And yes, I'm an actor. Has nothing to do with my mediumship. It just happens I do both. They work for each other, channeling a character, channeling dead people. But anyway, so it was being filmed in Columbus. So the director had, and some of the scenes were shot in this bed and breakfast. And so the director had asked the owner if I could stay there for the night for free. And she was so sweet and so nice, and she said sure. So I got to stay there. Well, I didn't get in till late because I drove to Columbus, filmed some scenes, and about 11 midnight, something like that, I drove off to the bed and breakfast. And I was told that there was going to be a key in the box. This was the combination to get into the house. There would be nobody there or awake to greet me. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I drove up, parked in the spot. It was a little scary downtown. I don't know, walking all the way up the street that was empty to go in there. And as I'm walking up, I'm like, oh, there are spirits here. Whoa. I didn't know that. I thought about it, but I didn't really know. But I was walking up going, oh my goodness, I could almost like feel them staring at me like, oh, she's coming in. So I get in there, I walk in, and it's beautiful Victorian home in Columbus, Ohio, redone and just kept up, and spiral staircase going right there at the front door, of course, the wooden, the beautiful, the architecture, all that. So I'm like, whoa. And my key was on the set for a room on the second floor. So I'm trying to be really quiet. Oh my God, I forgot. Again, something happened before I got there. This doesn't normally happen for me. The night before I got there, preempt, sorry, rewind a little bit. Um, I was meditating, just meditating in general. And all of a sudden I saw this woman, and I don't remember now, this was like 10 plus years ago, um, in a Victorian type dress, like collar, uh, all the way down. But she was standing on a stairwell with a little boy. Why do little boys keep popping up as spirits? I don't know. But legit, that's what happened. Anyway, they were standing on a staircase together, and I was like, what the hell is this? What am I seeing? Why? What's going on? So anyway, I knew, because I was trying to figure out what it was, that they were in the bed and breakfast. So I was like, okay, this is where they're at. Okay. So I go creeping up the stairs. All I really wanted to do was find my room and go to bed and not be bothered for the evening. Please don't, harass me in my room type of thing. I just want to go to bed. So I go creeping down the hall, and I could almost feel like a maid walking down this little hall. Actually, if you look up images of the Harrison House and Bed and Breakfast in Columbus, Ohio, you will see the rooms I was in when this is happening. There's a picture of the hallway because there's a bedroom type hallway with a little seaty in the middle, like a little two-seat couch type of thing. That was the couch I was seeing the maid or somebody walking down. Anyway, so I'm just like, leave me alone. I just want to go to bed. So I go all the way. Of course, my bedroom is all the way on the end. So I open it up, and it's the red room, the ghost red room. It was like all red. Beautiful, beautiful, stunning Victorian red room, but it was a red room. And I'm like, whoa. And I could feel the energy of this room. And I was like, I don't know if I can sleep here. I don't have anybody to talk to. F it. When I'm really tired, I'll sleep anywhere. I'll sleep on the floor. I don't care. I'll sleep outside. I'm tired. So I'm like, I don't care. So I go in there and I shut the door. I keep the lights on. I can sleep anywhere. I kept all the lights on, and I just went, please, I know you guys are here. I know you guys know I'm here. Leave me the hell alone. I just want to go to bed now. Okay? I have boundaries with people and spirit. Just leave me the hell. And I passed out. And I woke up the next morning. Wasn't bothered. No, nothing. Nothing happened. It was great. So they left me alone. So I go down to the breakfast that the owner was cooking and everything, and it was just me and her. So I'm like, do I talk about this? Does she know? that there's spirits here? You know, what do I say? So I don't tend to talk to people unless I get the go ahead. Like I feel like it's okay. Like I read the room. I read the room in spirit. I read the room in people. So we were just talking about nothingness and everything. I don't even remember. We were just going back and forth. So I finally kind of like, I don't even know how I did it, but I went, I told her, and she just went, because she was this older woman, you know, she looked like the type that might not believe in any of this. And she went, yep, I know. You're not the first person that's come through here. And I go, oh, thank God. And she goes, I know they're here too. I've had too many things happen with me, but I love all of them. They're all really good. I go, oh my God, thank you. I was really worried. And then I told her, didn't know anything about this room, didn't even know. She goes, she has a lot of psychic mediums and paranormal groups that come through this place. I didn't even know. So that made me feel better. I told her, I said, you know, and I told her about what happened, about the woman on the stairs with the little boy. And she just looked at me and she goes, nope, you saw him. And she goes, I have been told by numerous psychics that there's a woman and boy on the 3rd floor. And I didn't even go up the 3rd floor. That was a staircase that was not part of my journey to my room. And I went, oh my God, for real. I'm as stunned as a skeptic as anybody else that when I get stuff. And she was like, nope, nope. She goes, you saw him. And I went, oh my God. So I was like, is it okay after breakfast, since there's nobody here, it's really early in the morning, if I creep around and try to read the place? And she's like, yeah, go for it. Be my guest. So I'm like scarfing my food down. Other guests came in and started eating and everything. And I'm like, I gotta go. So I go and I'm ready for the day already because I came down for breakfast. So I start creeping around, trying not to wake any guests that might be there that are still asleep. So, and I'm reading. So I go into this back room right behind if you came in their front door, there's a stairwell. It's the room right directly behind it. So it's like a little smoking room. Like there was a little fireplace, I believe, a couple seats and everything. I walk in the doorway and I saw this man. I swear to God, it's a reoccurring theme, but this is what I get. I can't help it. There's a man smoking. I think he was a pipe. I don't remember anymore. Reading his newspaper. He had a big, thick mustache. And he just looked up at me and went back to he completely disregarded me. And I'm like, hello. And I don't remember the tit for tat. I don't remember what was said back and forth. But he basically told me, go away. I'm a woman. And he has no time to talk to a woman. And I got that this was his room, his man's room, his man cave. And he didn't want me to be in there because, you know, because I was just a woman with no thoughts. And so I know this is wrong on so many levels, but I'm an asshole sometimes and a rebel. So I went, oh, really? Really? Okay. And I came over and I sat on him. I sat right in the chair he was sitting on. Oh, what are you going to do about this? He was so pissed off that I sat on him. I just felt his anger, and then he just disappeared. So I was like, that's what I do. Okay, so I feel bad a little bit now because I do realize that was his time frame, and that's how he thought. But in the moment, the way he dismissed me like I was nothing kind of pissed me off. Like I was a maid and I was a woman. Like I was nothing. So anyway, so I creep up the stairs. I go to the 3rd stairwell and I could feel a little boy peeking because the 3rd stairwell went up a little bit and then disappeared behind a landing and went up to the 3rd floor. And I could feel him peeking around looking at me like, and I'm going, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just exploring the house. I know you can see me. I was just talking like I talk to anybody. That's how I talk to spirit. I talk to them like a living person. They just don't have a body. So I creep around because he disappeared, and I crept around, and as soon as I turned the landing and I could look up to the 3rd floor a little bit, like see some of it, I felt this woman standing there going, you do not belong up here. I mean, she was like, and he was hiding behind her. I don't remember now. I wish I could lie about it, but I don't remember if she was his nanny just a very, very momish type nanny, or if it was his mother. I'm trying to go with my gut and what my gut's telling me right now. I don't think that one was ever fully discussed or came to fruition even back then. Um, my gut is going to say, and I think it was the same at the time, that she was a nanny that was like his mother. She was extremely pretty. She might as well have been his mother. So she basically forbid me, forbid me from going up. So I felt like a negotiator. I'm going, but I just want to, and I was trying to creep up the stairs. I really try to be respectful to everybody. I didn't get all the way up. I just crept a few more stairs, and she wasn't having it. She was like, "You're not welcome here. No, I don't want you up here." And then her and the little boy just kind of disappeared into a wall or a room. And I went, okay. I mean, that man downstairs wasn't as threatening as she was, and I know she was serious. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to push it. So I go back downstairs and I go to the room across from mine because anybody who wasn't occupied, whatever room wasn't occupied, the doors were open, or at least some of them were. The room across from mine was open, and I walked in there and I started getting really dizzy, like really crazy dizzy. And that's only happened once before, and I'll tell that story too. And I didn't understand it with this room. I couldn't figure out because it didn't collaborate with the other room because that happened first. And I was feeling nauseous and I thought I was going to pass out. And I saw pennies on the floor and I thought, well, that's weird. Okay, but all right, I do know pennies and spirits and stuff like that. But I was like, it was just so random because you could tell the room had been cleaned and nobody was in it. So where did the pennies come from? So I back out of the room and I feel better in the hallway. And I'm like, that is just bizarre. And I tried to communicate with any spirits that were in there, and I wasn't getting anything. I was getting nothing. It was like dead space. No joke, no pun intended, but it was just nothing, nothing happening. So I was like, well, that's just weird. I don't know what's going on. So I decided I only have so much energy for the day because I still had to film later the rest of the movie. So I leave, and what else? Oh yeah, I went into their basement, and it was just filled with stuff. It wasn't a scary basement at all. You'd think it would be, but it wasn't. Just filled with beautiful, like just junk, but also history and all kinds of stuff. And I was walking in there, and the little boy popped in. He was like, "Hi." And he's just like standing right next to me, completely opposite of who he was upstairs. And I'm like, hi, and he's like, talk, and you want to see my toys? You want to find my toys are over here? And he's just like he was just happy to have somebody to play with and to talk to. And I'm like, sure. And I was a mom at that time too, so I was mommying with him, you know. I'm like, yeah, show me your toys. And he was like showing me all these like toys that weren't there, and then he was taking me to different parts of the room. I don't remember what he was saying, but he was just like talk. Like he was so starved for any kind of attention or affection and everything. So I talked to him for a bit down there, and I realized he doesn't get that. That woman controls his whole life up, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't want anybody to go near him. Nobody's allowed to touch him. And she didn't seem like a very mommy, affectionate mommy type. So he was starving. And I feel like now maybe I should have helped him move on, but I didn't. I, for the most part, don't, but sometimes I feel like trapped children alone. I will do my best to move trapped children spirits on if they're not with somebody. And this time, I don't know why I didn't. I think he needed to. But I spent as much time down there as I could, and then I went back upstairs. I said goodbye to him and everything. So I was telling the daughter of the owner, who is this she was psychic too. I did not know any of this. She'd seen the man smoking in the back room. shockingly, she looked like the type that would have taken my side on it. And she was like, "Oh, you don't treat them that way. That's the way he was back then. That's who he was. You don't have the right to go and say." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Oh, I know that now." I mean, she got really mad at me for having the audacity to sit on him. But yeah, so that is my experience of that place, the Harrison House bed and breakfast. I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but I do not think so. That place is pretty cool. Pretty cool, even if you don't believe in spirit. It's beautiful, and all the rooms are redone. And look it up. It's awesome. I think she even had some famous actors pass through and stayed there. So I think I forgot who they were now, but yeah, on low key stayed in her bed and breakfast. All right, so that's it.